Hi folks, and welcome back to another Trivia Night pub quiz. I'm Alan, your regular Quizmaster and host, and this week I'll be asking 60 questions worth 60 points. Level 1 is super easy. 10 questions, can you score 10 out of 10? 1 point for each correct answer, and remember to add up your points and drop your score in the comments below at the end of the video. Good luck, let's crack on with the quiz. Question 1. What is the capital city of Spain? And that would be Madrid. Question 2. Who is the king of the gods in Greek mythology? And that is Zeus. Question 3. Which planet is closest to the Sun? That is Mercury. Question 4. What is the chemical formula for water? That is H2O. Question 5. How many colours are in a rainbow? And the correct answer is 7. Question 6. Who, until 1991, was the lead singer of the band Queen? And that was Freddie Mercury. Question 7. What is the tallest structure in Paris? And that is the Eiffel Tower. Question 8. Bruce Banner is the alter ego of which superhero? And he is the alter ego of the Hulk. Question 9. Which sportswear brand uses the slogan, "Just do it"? And that is the slogan of Nike. And question 10. In which US city is the famous theatre district known as Broadway located? That is in New York. Level 2, and these questions should still be too easy. So 10 questions, can you score 9 out of 10? Let's find out. Question 11. Who became President of the United States immediately after Barack Obama? And that was Donald Trump. Question 12. Who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? And that was Michelangelo. Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel between 1508 and 1512, whilst working on a self-designed wooden scaffolding system. Reaching overhead for years left him with back and neck problems. Question 13. Which planet is furthest from the Sun? And that is Neptune. Question 14. Who directed the film Jaws? That was Steven Spielberg. Question 15. Rory McIlroy is a famous name in which sport? He is a famous golfer. Question 16. Like a Virgin was a hit single and studio album for which singer? And that was Madonna. Released in 1984, Like a Virgin catapulted Madonna to international stardom and became her first #1 album on the Billboard charts. Question 17. What nationality was the footballer Diego Maradona? He was Argentinian. Question 18. Who wrote the book series The Chronicles of Narnia? That was C.S. Lewis. Question 19. Which actor stars as John Wick in the film series of the same name? And that is Keanu Reeves. Question 20. In which European city would you find the Acropolis and the Parthenon? And you would find them in Athens. The Parthenon was built in the 5th century BCE. It is a temple dedicated to the goddess Athena. It sits atop the Acropolis, which is the historic hill overlooking the city of Athens. Level 3 is 10 questions that should be easy-ish. Can you score 8 out of 10? Question 21. Which of the original 7 wonders of the ancient world still exists today? And that would be the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt is over 4,500 years old. It is the only one of the ancient wonders still standing. It was originally built as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu. Question 22. Which city in India would you find the Taj Mahal? And you would find it in Agra. Question 23. In what year did the Vietnam War officially end? That was in 1975. The Vietnam War ended on April the 30th, 1975, with the fall of Saigon and the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. It was a conflict that lasted nearly 20 years. Question 24. In which US city would you find the venue Madison Square Garden? And you would find it in New York. Question 25. Mel B and Mel C were members of which British pop group? They were members of the Spice Girls. Alongside Posh, Ginger and Baby Spice, the Spice Girls' 1996 debut single, Wannabe, topped the charts in 37 countries, launching them to global pop stardom. Question 26. The theme park, Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay, is in which US state? You would find it in Florida. Question 27. Which city is home to the famous natural harbour known as Port Jackson? And that would be Sydney. Port Jackson is considered one of the finest natural harbours in the world and hosts the iconic Sydney Opera House and Harbour Bridge. Question 28. The word déjà vu originates from which language? And that would be French. Déjà vu literally means already seen in French. It describes the uncanny feeling you've experienced something before, even when it's actually new. Question 28. The word déjà vu originates from which language? And that would be French. Question 29. Who starred as Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars film franchise? And that was Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill has portrayed Jedi Luke Skywalker in 6 main films from 1977 to 2019. He's also had cameo appearances for Disney Plus and voiced the character in various animated shows and video games. Question 30. In what year was YouTube founded? And that was in 2005. Level 4 is 10 questions that are not so easy. Can you score 7 out of 10? Let's give it a go. Question 31. The Chicago Outfit was a criminal organisation led by which notorious gangster? That was Al Capone. Question 32. Which author created the character Captain Nemo? That was Jules Verne. Captain Nemo first appeared in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in 1870. Jules Verne imagined deep-sea exploration long before modern submarines were commonplace. Question 33. How many noble gases are there on the periodic table? There are 6 noble gases: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Question 34. Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships with which basketball team? He won them with the Chicago Bulls. Question 35. In the human body, what is the name of the process by which the body burns fat for energy? That is called ketosis. Ketosis occurs when the body doesn't have enough carbohydrates to burn for energy, so it starts breaking down fat instead. Question 36. What country does the drink Sambuca originate from? It originates in Italy. Sambuca is an Italian anise flavoured liqueur that's often enjoyed neat, with water or flambéed. Question 37. Which actor portrayed Agent Smith in The Matrix and Elrond in the Lord of the Rings film series? And that was Hugo Weaving. Question 38. In what century did Leonardo da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa? He painted it in the 16th century. Leonardo began painting the Mona Lisa around 1503 and he continued working on it for years, possibly even taking it with him to France before he died. Question 39. What is the main ingredient in borscht soup that gives it its distinctive deep red colour? And that would be beetroot. Question 40. Which director directed the first 5 Transformer films? And that was Michael Bay. Michael Bay is known for his explosive action sequences and signature sweeping camera shots. The Transformers franchise, which began in 2007, has grossed billions worldwide under his direction. Level 5 is getting kinda tricky. Can you score 6 out of 10 this time? Question 41. The mountain, Mount Godwin Austen, also known as Chogori, is more commonly known by what name? It's more commonly known as K2. K2 is the second highest mountain in the world after Mount Everest, but it's considered more dangerous to climb due to severe weather and technical difficulty. Question 42. The Fugees had a 1996 with a cover of the song Killing Me Softly. Who sang the original in 1973? That was Roberta Flack. Question 43. Which actor played the role of Mr. Miyagi in the early Karate Kid films? And his name was Pat Morita. Pat Morita was actually nominated for a Best Supporting Actor Academy Award for his role as Mr. Miyagi. Question 44. Souvlaki is a meat dish that originates from which country? And that would be Greece. Question 45. Which building briefly took the crown from the Eiffel Tower as the world's tallest structure in 1930? And that was the Chrysler Building. The Chrysler Building became the world's tallest structure in 1930 before being overtaken by the Empire State Building in 1931. Question 46. What does the Chinese electric car manufacturing company name BYD stand for? It means build your dreams. Question 47. What confectionery company was founded in Germany in 1922 by Hans Riegel in Bonn? And that was Haribo. The name Haribo is actually an acronym from Hans Riegel Bonn. Haribo invented the gummy bear, originally called the Dancing Bear, which became the world famous Gold Bear. Question 48. Glenn Quagmire, Joe Swanson and Cleveland Brown are characters in which animated TV series? They are characters in Family Guy. Question 49. What nationality was the revolutionary Che Guevara? He was Argentinian. Che Guevara was born Ernesto Guevara in Rosario, Argentina in 1928, and despite his role in the Cuban Revolution, he always remained Argentinian. Question 50. What is the most populous province in Canada? And that would be Ontario. Over 38% of Canada's entire population lives in Ontario. It is home to major cities like Toronto and Ottawa. Now, if you've made it this far in the quiz and you're enjoying the quiz, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. It really helps YouTube push this video out to a wider audience. Level 6 is the boss level. 10 questions, can you score at least 5 out of 10? Question 51. From which Washington monument did Martin Luther King Jr. deliver his I Have a Dream speech? That was from the Lincoln Memorial. Question 52. Who painted the 1881 painting Luncheon of the Boating Party? That was painted by Renoir. In Luncheon of the Boating Party, Renoir painted several of his friends and his future wife, making it both an impressionist masterpiece and a personal snapshot. Question 53. What is Harry Potter's middle name? His middle name is James. Question 54. During his time in Brazil, what football club did Pelé play for? He played for Santos FC. Pelé joined Santos FC in 1956 at the age of 15. He played there until 1974, scoring over 1,000 goals in official and unofficial matches. Question 55. Which German physicist is best known for formulating the uncertainty principle? And that is Werner Heisenberg. Heisenberg's 1927 uncertainty principle says you can't precisely know both a particle's position and momentum at the same time, a key idea in quantum mechanics. Question 56. In which US state did the infamous Roswell incident occur in 1947? That happened in New Mexico. After the Roswell incident, the US military first claimed to find a flying disc, then quickly said it was a weather balloon, fueling decades of UFO theories. Question 57. Which Ukrainian boxer beat Tyson Fury in May 24, unifying all 4 boxing belts and becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? That was Alexander Usyk. Question 58. Can you name this ancient Sri Lankan rock fortress? That is called Sigiriya. Also known as Lion Rock, Sigiriya is a 5th century fortress and palace ruin in Sri Lanka, famous for its dramatic setting atop a massive rock column and its ancient frescoes. Question 59. In which Shakespeare play would you find the character Prince Fortinbras? He appears in Hamlet. Question 60. What Italian city is famed for producing Murano glassware? And that is the city of Venice. Specifically, the glass is made on a nearby island of Murano, which is part of the city of Venice. And that concludes today's quiz. I'll leave you with one final bonus question worth 5 points on the screen, and you can find the answer to that on our Facebook page at The Real Pub Quiz. If you enjoyed today's quiz, we would appreciate a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And why not try out this other quiz here? Bye for now.